Welcome, guys. How are you doing? I hope everyone is having a fantastic, amazing, magnificent start of the year. It's already February. Crazy, right? Already a month has passed. And I hope you had a great Christmas, had a nice, happy New Year's, and amazing, super glorious Valentine's Day. And decided to come up with more content. I haven't made content in a year due to my PC being in a very bad shape, and I won't be probably posting any gameplay, most likely, due to the fact that it's, PC is basically unoperable for now. Inoperable. Is that a word? I think that's a word. So just bear with me here as I'm trying to make content for you using my phone. Alright? I want to talk about this. I've started playing World of Tanks, I don't know, 2017. I don't know if I made a video before explaining how my whole story with this game started, basically. And when I started playing back in 2017, it wasn't like I understood very little about the game, and I didn't want to go through a learning process, right? So I was just I had the least knowledge about how to operate a tank. That's one, and understand how uh, how to properly drive a tank, how to perform in the battlefield, how the game mechanics worked. But I always was passionate about tanks. You know what I mean? So it was like always a love thingy for the game because it's mostly about tanks. I didn't understand how the penetration worked. I didn't understand the how basically sloped armor worked. But like for now, like compared to how I was and how like the knowledge that I have acquired through the years, learning from mistakes, learning from other uh, community contributors who have taught me a lot. Like, I mean, if it wasn't for them, like, there's no way I would know most of the things that I know right now. I didn't really care about being competitive. I was just playing it. I mean, you can call it fun, but I mean, it was a little bit fun, but it's not rewarding because you're not really performing good, right? Because you have no idea how to play the game. So it was just mostly me getting trashed and completely humiliated in the chat, even though I didn't really care what these people thought because I'm just, trying to play my game because I'm either driving my heavy tank in the open, right? Or using my light tank to rush into the enemies and die hopelessly and without any kind of good benefits for my team. So it was like now that I look at it, I kind of understand those people that were shit talking me. So it's like I really don't yeah, I can relate to what how they were feeling, but it's like it was a good learning experience for sure. And then I think at the late 2019 maybe or 2020, I'm not really sure, is when I decided, I felt like since I was like I'm a huge passionate gamer and I've even though I haven't played like I don't know like hundreds of games, I think maybe tens of games, yes, but not like hundreds of games, well, maybe even 100. But it's like it's not there's always been some sort of games where I've felt like too attached to, and I usually either play them on different difficulties or just finish them and then like replay them again and again and again. That was kind of my experience. And I started gaming at 5 years old, so it's like maybe even less than that. So it was something that I've really was super attached, maybe even obsessed with since I was basically a child. So, and it's like at some point in time when I was, I played on different consoles. When I got like to the PlayStation 2, where games like became some sort of challenging for me. I've always got a euphoria out of finishing games on higher difficulties. That's how I like. I don't know. I was like obsessed with making these silly challenges for myself. I mean, when you really look at it, they don't really matter. But to me, they meant the whole world, I guess. So I decided to come back to World of Tanks because I felt like, you know what? This game I never really got. I really never really got to be good at it, and that did not, it didn't like resonate with me. So I hated that. I wanted to change it. So I decided, how can I learn this game that I suck at? So I started watching, other different streamers here and there, and how they explain the entirety of the game mechanics and where you should go on the map and how you should play your tank and different tank roles and all of that nonsense. So it's like you can clearly say that I'm above average, just using the same positions they use, and playing the same tank line or the same tank category the way these content creators actually played them. So it's like not only do you get understanding of how the game mechanics work, but just like you get how you're supposed to go, where you're supposed to go, how you're supposed to play, when you're supposed to push one line, and basically it's just you learn all the basic strategies. World of Tanks, I gotta say, it's a really interesting game because it has so much variety, right? So if you're like into like playing say tanks, obviously World of Tanks is the game for you to go. It's the one you want to play, even though it has many issues, right? And speaking of the issues, I want to talk about the new update that's going to be coming soon. Update 1.20, Common Test 2 Vehicle Rebalancing. And this update that many streamers have already talked about. Let's see what this web page is saying. Commanders, the second common test of update 1.20 is available. We are constantly working on vehicle balance and now want to show you the next iteration of adjustments. Okay. It seems that Wargaming have been working constantly on vehicle balance and they want to show us some adjustments. It's funny, I mean, like, is this really what constantly working looks like? Because, I mean, if you ask any World of Tanks, lover, they'll say this is like far from the truth. Wargaming doesn't even give a fuck about balancing tanks and stuff. But let's continue. Some of these rebalanced vehicles are grouped according to their branches and tiers. Alright, that makes sense. While others will not be a part of any group but still require some updates to their combat characteristics. Let's take a closer look. So they made improvements to high tier vehicles, improvements to individual tier 6 and tier 7 vehicles, and changes to the Progetto, which this is what I want to talk about. 65, the T123, the AMX M454, and surrounding vehicles. These characteristics are not final and might be adjusted after the common test. So I don't really care about these improvements to high tier vehicles like the Centurion Action 10 and the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. I feel like these changes should have happened a lot sooner because the community has been demanding that these changes will need to happen, and like Wargaming kept ignoring it for reasons that they only know. So many people have. I don't know about the T-57 Heavy, but the Rhinoceronti. Many people have spoken about that. Many people, but I think a year or 2 years later, finally there's going to be some buffs for the Rhinoceronti. And now let's talk about this, the changes to the Progetto M4 Mod 65. All three of these top tier vehicles feature decent combat advantages. And this is the problem. It's like Wargaming, I don't know if they're trolling us. Are you like trolling the community? Is that what's going on here? Because all of us can see, well, that's not the case. I mean, maybe the E3 a little bit, even though it's slow, doesn't have a turret, but it's like the OP armor is annoying on that tank. But let's continue. They don't have any significant drawbacks. All right. So when you say decent combat advantages, maybe some combat advantages does, the Progetto has like having an auto loader. I guess you can call that an advantage, even though you're going to lose a lot of DPM compared to other tier 10s. And, drinking coffee. I love coffee. So they offer very high battle performance and stand out in their classes and tiers. Do they really offer very high battle performance? Well, they stand out in their classes and tiers. Well, let's look at that, shall we? They stand out. Very high battle performance. Regular, tier 10. This is on the NA server, alright? So we're gonna check how the tier 10s are performing on the North American server, on the site Tomato GG. So let's see. If you look here and you click by win rate, and as you can see, regular, we're not using reward tanks are not included, right? The Progetto is nowhere to be seen. Okay, this is your problem. Object 268 version 4. These ones created these tanks are the problem. They're overperforming, you know. And I think all tanks should be at 50%, right? If we're talking about perfect balance. But as you can see, uh, hmm, they're nerfing this one, the M454 AMX, right? So is the Progetto anywhere here? No. Let's go down a little bit. Do you see any Progetto? I don't. Oh, there's the Progetto. Hi, Progetto. Well, we finally found you. Well, clearly Progetto is not overperforming. Clearly, Progetto doesn't have like decent combat advantages, right? So, what the hell is Wargaming talking about? That's interesting. Okay, maybe maybe Progetto is outperforming all the medium tanks, tier 10 medium tanks. CS63 seems to be a problem. 51%. UDES E50. These tanks are a problem. Progetto, not so much. It's way down at the list. What if we use both premium and regular? You find tanks with 57% win rate. Oh my god. So yeah, 50, 50, 50 55%, 54%, 52%. But hey guys, don't worry. This is not a problem. All right? If you are worried that this is a problem, no. You know where the problem is? Progetto. That's where the problem. We're gonna nerf that one. And this is on the NA server, all right? So how about we switch to the EU server? Maybe this is just the NA people being so obsessed with, obsessed over the Italian tanks. Just, the EU is different, right? That's what I think. I think that makes sense. Let's see. Well, tier 10. Let's use a regular. It doesn't really matter, right? If we use regular or not, there's still going to be a problem. So let's see. Oh wow, 53%. I don't see Progetto anywhere. It's not here. Maybe if we use medium tanks. Well, Progetto is way down there. Hello, Progetto. I can see you. Way down at the bottom. Not anywhere on the top. So, what does that mean? Is Wargaming trolling us? I mean, clearly this tank has no advantages. It has plenty of drawbacks. Right? That's obvious. Maybe we read it differently. I mean, that makes sense, right? Because this doesn't make any sense. All three of these top tier vehicles, all of them, feature decent combat advantages and don't have significant drawbacks. They offer very high battle performance and stand out in their classes and tiers. I mean, we know the AMX stands out. The E3 a little bit, but Progetto, it stands out as being a horrible tank. Is that what Wargaming means? These vehicles are very popular both in random battles and onslaught, and they may sometimes frustrate other commanders playing insane tier tanks. I think they frustrate. I think Progetto frustrates Wargaming. Nobody complains about Progetto. I think most of the community loves Progetto. Heck, it was on my list. I don't have it. I don't have Progetto, even though it's been nerfed. I mean, now I'm like, I don't know if I should get it. You know what I mean? It's like, do I really want it? I don't know. I mean, before I wanted to get one, I've, uh, uh, I have basically grinded up all the way up to the 4 by Pantera. Like, very excited about, start to play these auto reloaders. But, yeah, whatever. To adjust their performance, we want to reduce some of their combat parameters. However, they are still very dangerous. You know the funny thing? We saw that Progetto had like 48% win ratio. Now it's going to have like a 47 after the nerf, or maybe even 46% win ratio. So, I mean, but according to Wargaming, and that's like 10% below the other premium. I don't want to say premium. The reward tier 10 tanks, the medium tanks, the the E6, the Caro, right? Those tanks have really high win rate, and they're going to have like 10% higher win rate than the Progetto now, after the nerf takes place. Or what's the reason behind this nerf? That doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. Okay, one of the main reasons, I think they mentioned it here. Uh, uh-huh. These vehicles are very popular in the random queue. That's the problem. I mean, when something is overpowered, I mean, sure, yeah, go ahead. It's going to be popular clearly because people want to have better win rate. People want to like farming other players. It's just how it is, and that results in tanks becoming popular. But when you have a tank that still, it resembles the new line that has just been released a few months ago, and it's still not that good, but people still want to play it. So what do we got to do? What we got to do? We have to nerf it, because if we nerf it, then it's a win. Because people will start, our players, who we love so much, because they're the players are the backbone of the game. They're keeping the game going, pretty much. So let's look at this. Battles. Sort everything by battles, and you get, on the Asian server, Progetto. 156,000 games. Yup. Let's look at the AU server. Medium tank, tier 10, Progetto. 424,000 games. So, as you can see, the web page did not really do a good job at explaining the nerf, right? They like generalized when they said all of these tanks feature blah 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 blah. When it's really not the case. When what they should have said is that two of these tanks feature blah 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 blah, and then said although one tank seems to be very popular, and we want to nerf it. But of course, then they said it that way. Well, many Progetto fans will not appreciate it. So basically, what's happening here is my first speculation is that Wargaming wants you to grind the new line that they released, the Tank Destroyer line. It's literally just Wargaming saying that, hey guys, you're playing the wrong tank, well, the wrong Italian tank. How about you go play some Tank Destroyer? How about you go play a Tank Destroyer? The Italian new Tank Destroyers. Huh? Does that sound like a plan? Do you want to do that? Because if you go play that line, well, you're going to end up having to probably buy some gold to skip some tanks or modules so you get to tier 10 faster. This is my first prediction. as to why they're nerfing the Progetto. The second projection, because I'm not one of Wargaming's staff. All I can do is try to speculate. And my other speculation is that we've heard of a new tank called Mars that has been released recently in the auction. I think auction, right? And it's an auto reloader, just like Progetto 65 was an auto reloader. And this new tank Mars is basically just another Progetto 46. So you see what I'm saying here? If they can get you not to play this tank, and because auto reloaders are fun, but if I can make this tier 10, this is the approach. This is tier 10, T6 Progetto 65 is too fun. It's an auto reloader and it's too fun. If we keep it too fun, why would somebody with some gamers will think, why should I just buy another auto reloader? Really, I can just play this auto reloader. Some tankers just love to play auto reloaders, or maybe they're just so passionate about the Progetto. So maybe if they start to hate this Progetto with its new updates and stuff, they can go on to play other stuff that Wargaming wants you to grind, wants you to play because it's profitable for them. You playing the Progetto 65 is really not that profitable because you're not going to be spending much gold. I mean, you probably have most people who, when you start buying tier 10 tanks, you clearly have a premium account, and you have also a tier 8 premium tank. So what does that mean? It means that they can't really get you to open up your wallet anymore. So for them to get you to open up your wallet is, well, let's kill all the fun tanks, free-to-play tanks. I mean, clearly they cannot kill off they can, but it's by producing any other tanks, but they cannot nerf the existing premium tanks, because then they would have to do a refund, and what kind of company wants to do that? Or a profitable company, for that matter. So yeah, this is the only things that I could come up with as to why Wargaming wants to shut down the Progetto and make it so unbearable to a point where nobody wants to play it anymore. When it's clearly not a problem. And if you ask me, they should have prioritized Caro 45, 907, E6. These tanks are the problem. They should have been prioritized, but Wargaming just, I think if Wargaming can find a decision that will, it will not be appreciated by the community, but it will be more profitable, they will go through with it. They don't care. They do not put your satisfaction at the highest priority. I mean, yes, they want their players to be satisfied, but not at the expense of, less money, if that makes sense. So, that's profitable companies in a nutshell. After all of us playing this game are just customers. Anyways, it's just my opinion. It can still be false. Maybe I'm just, there are more things to it than this. And if you do feel like there are more things to it, or maybe I'm wrong, or maybe you have different opinion, let me know in the comment section down below. Right? I'd like to hear your opinion. Maybe you have, interesting opinions on the matter, and I would probably pin them so other people would see them. Yeah, this is all I have for this video, and thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. And I hope I didn't bore the fuck out of you with my whole World of Tanks life story. But take care, guys, for now. See you on the next video. Stay smart. Stay safe.